Hello, welcome to the very first episode of Investing with Keto. Thank you for tuning in. And honestly, I'm just be really transparent. This is going to be the first mini series. That's my intent, is to create content, three content once a week regarding the investing. And I've always wanted to create a videos like, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just go raw. And it's probably gonna be a lot of editing at all. I'm just gonna record it and I'm just gonna post it. And maybe down the road, as I get more experience, the video quality and the sound quality hopefully would improve. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks for tuning in. Again, this is Investing with Keto. And why would you want to why would you want to listen to me? Let me share you a little story about who I am and my intent of doing this video. Basically, I, grew up in Montana, out of all places. My parents came over to the U.S. and went to school in engineering in Arizona. And I thought that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an engineer, electronics engineer. Well, I actually got my degree in electronics engineering, and I actually did that. And when I moved up to Seattle, Washington, I bought my first property. And here's the thing: when I bought my first property, my intent wasn't to become an investor. It was like, you know what? At the time, I was young, was single, staying with my sister, and thought, man, for the price of rent, just a couple extra $100 more, I can get I can buy a house. So that was my logic, right? It's like I'll just buy a house. So actually, I bought my first house. It was up in Everett, Washington. Okay, and it was a bank foreclosed home. Okay, and here's the thing: is I didn't even get it professionally inspected, and this is all hindsight, right? I just bought it because the agent showed it to me, and I qualified. So I can roll up my sleeves and I'll do it. So bought the house, my very first house. Right here, I am excited. Got my keys, and this house. I'll be honest. It for a first time home buyer, it needed work. Okay. I didn't realize when I turned on the water, the pipes had bursted because I bought it during the wintertime, right? And so the pipes was bursting, so water was coming out of the walls in the laundry room and stuff like that. I was like, oh my goodness. And the house was dirty, bad carpet, there's holes in the walls. I actually have some pictures of that. I don't know if I can find it, but I have some old pictures of that. And I call up the plumber, and they were all busy. So guess what? My engineer brain's like, you know what? I can figure this out myself. So my buddy and I went in and went to Home Depot, got some supplies, opened up the walls. Like, oh man, all these busted pipes. I think there was maybe 20 sections overall that I had to replace. And a side note to that was when my mom, and I bought the house, right? And I showed it to her. She the first word that came out of her mouth was, "Oh my God, Keto, you bought this house," because it literally was, holes in the walls, pee stain in the carpet. The carpet was icky, gross. It was just nasty. But overall, the structure was fine, besides the broken windows, and it was mainly, to me, was cosmetic, right? So anyways, that was my first house. And so I moved in. Once I got it fixed, I thought, you know what, let me get some roommates, and this was before house hacking became popular, before I even knew what house hacking was, right? So I got roommates. They pay 2/3 of my mortgage. So I was like, oh, that's good. And then my friend introduced me to a book. Actually, my coworker introduced me to a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Now, I'm sure Now, most of you guys that are into real estate investing, at one point you probably heard about this book over and over again. It seems to be like I would say like the catalyst for most investors is that Rich Dad Poor Dad book. At least that was for me. And then of course there's another book, which is a great book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So those books are like the two game changers for me. So anyways, back to my story about investing in my first property. So I got roommates, they paid for the mortgage and life was good. And so I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's like, oh, okay. Kind of really shift my thinking from employee mindset to, being more like an entrepreneur. And so what I did was I took the equity out of my first property and I bought a condo in Redmond, Washington. Okay. Again, use the same agent, right? And so I got that. And then I bought another property, moved out of that. So I just kept moving from one property to the next. And I've, amassed like about 10 rental properties. Okay. Here I am thinking, gosh, by the time I'm 40, I would be set, right? I would be set. But here's the thing. That did not happen. Okay, so spoiler, that did not happen. Okay, most of you know, in 2009, 2010, with the real estate industry took a nosedive, right? I mean, it was crazy. Now, I was still a new investor, and I didn't really know what I didn't know at this point, because I didn't really have nowadays you have access to information like YouTube and you have social media, lots of ways to get information about investing. So at the time, I felt like I was kind of on my own. Yeah, there's like REIPs and stuff, real estate investment groups that I would go to, but I didn't really, have the knowledge or the education. I was kind of like, trial by air, right? Or at the time I thought, you know what, because being, I'm an engineer, right? I should know how to do my numbers and stuff like that. And, let me take it back. So during that time, I did get my real estate license. Okay. After my third home, I decided to get my real estate license and I am still licensed. Okay. Because my thinking was, all these agents, they didn't do the numbers, right? All they did was open the door, show me the property. And if I liked it, I said, make an offer. Okay. And that was it. And they've got the commission. That, oh man, might as well save on the commission, maybe put that the commission in my pocket. So I got my license thinking that that's what I would do. Keep in mind, I was still working as an engineer. Okay. Now here's the thing. While I was working as an engineer and, kind of moonlighting as a realtor, I decided, you know what, let me just go full-time in as a realtor. Because at that time, this is where I actually met my wife, okay? And at the time, she was just my girlfriend. Now, she's my wife. She says, if you really like real estate, why don't you just go into real estate? Now, here's the thing, like, I'm so used to, like, playing it safe. Like, okay, you know what, you get a job, you work for a company, but she says, you know what you're making in real estate part-time is just as much as you're making full-time in your engineering job. So to me, it's like, you know what, it makes sense. Well, let me just jump in, right? Okay. So of course I jumped in full-time into real estate. And at the time, see, I didn't realize at the time because, real estate is a cycle. Okay. When you're new, you don't know that you're in a cycle because you're in it. And you don't know what you don't know yet. That was my thing. So I actually was doing really well as a realtor. I was probably in the top 10% of the agents in my company, and so life was good. I was making more money than I was making in an engineer. Right, I'm making like more money than I thought would be possible, and so I was just buying properties left and right. And of course, 2009, 2010 hit, boom, it hit me hard. I'll be honest with you. I didn't really see it coming because I was just kind of oblivious. Because looking back, my fault was it was like I was banking on appreciation. Okay, I was hoping that, because home prices keep going up. They're going up. 6, 7, 8, 10, 12%. Like, oh man, they're just going crazy. It's like, you know what? Even though I was negative, right? Because some of these rentals, I was out of pocket, but I was thinking, oh, you know what? It's a forced savings, right? Like I'm forcing putting money in my pocket because the homes would appreciate. Okay, so that was my error in thinking. So with that, market went down. I tried to sell what I could, okay, and some I gave to the bank. So honestly, it was really devastating for me. Going from I thought I was gonna top the world. By the time I'm 40, I would be done. Okay, and right now I'm 46, and I feel like I'm starting over. Okay, this is why I'm making this video. All right, so here's the thing. It was really grim at the time because I was losing money left over right. I mean, I couldn't even keep. I had a hard time keeping my own home, so that was when loan modification was popular, short sales. So I was trying to do what I can, even as an agent, helping people doing loan modifications and stuff like that. But still, I was not making the kind of money that I was used to making when the market was going up. Because they say like the rising tide raises all ships. Well, that was me. I was with the rising tide, and I think even if you look back, see anybody that was an agent during that time before the crash, like in 2005, 6, 7, 8ish, right? They did really well, right? Like, making 30, 40, 50, 60,000, 70,000, sometimes $100,000 a month some other agents are making. Okay? And so I was thinking, oh man, I was making good money. So like, I'll just keep paying the negative, while when the market hit, I couldn't afford to keep, out of pocket. Because each and every month was like, oh man, I couldn't take this. I could barely, keep up with the bills. So I made a decision to, let this go, end up filing for bankruptcy. End up owing the IRS like over 300,000 in back taxes. It was very devastating. Okay, and so I was like totally wiped out. So thank goodness my wife stuck to my side, because it was crazy. Because one of the things I promised her was, hey, look, at the time things were going good. So I said, hey, look, I know money is the number one. There's one of the number one reason why people get a divorce, right? Is because of money. Okay, so I told myself, you know what, that's not going to happen to me. So when I decided to get married, so I had a conversation with, my wife, say, let's not let money be what separates us. As long as I have my two hands, I will build our dreams. Okay, that was my promise to her. So back to my story. that's what I was like. Okay, you know what? Filed bankruptcy, owing the IRS. Things were grim. At one point, I'll be honest, I even had to go on public assistance just so I can put food on the table. Okay. Now here's the thing. Look, you need help. Be humble. Take the help that's out there. Okay. But I knew that was not going to last, because that wasn't me. It's like, you know what? I'm going to make this right. I'm not going to rely on the government to take care of me. I got to take care of myself. Okay. So I was on it for probably like maybe 3-4 months. Then after that, it's like, you know what? No more. Okay. So at the lowest part of my life, it's like, man, this is horrible. I mean, and there's many thoughts came into my mind of just giving up, but I knew that, you know what? I will not give up. Okay. So I took a pause from real estate. So like, okay, you know what? I'm licking my wounds, take a pause. But in the back of my mind, I knew that I did not want that experience to go to waste, right? I knew that I got to take that experience and turn it into some positive. At the time, of course, I didn't know what it was going to be, but I knew that was what I wanted to do. And I knew that, to me, real estate is the way to creating financial wealth. Okay, real estate is. If you look in history, you look at anybody that is wealthy in their portfolio, they have a lot of real estate in their portfolio. Okay, so So here I am. So I took a break. So in 2010, I checked out real estate, did something else. Okay. And I ended up, doing what I can, trying to find a job, or actually getting a job, having a couple jobs actually, just so I can make ends meet. And my wife and I started a food business, selling, a food truck business, selling food and stuff. That kept us, that actually helped us get out of our financial situation. And that's the thing too, is like when you're in a situation, figure out how to get out of it. Okay. Just do whatever it takes. So that's what I did, just had to do whatever it takes. But in the back of my mind, I knew, hey, I got to get back into real estate. Now, at the time, my wife was like gun shy. I said, man, no more real estate, kiddo. This is in, we're done. Okay. So it wasn't until like 2017, actually 2017, I told my wife again, honey, you know what? I want to get back to real estate. I know that we've had it bad before. Okay. And I don't want that, I don't want that experience to go to waste. And I know that real estate is the way to go. So with her blessing, and here's the tip, folks, if you're married, okay, or you have a significant other, get them on board, okay? Because if they're not on board and you're not aligned in real estate or investing, it's going to be a challenge. So I advise, what, get your significant other involved. So she gave me the blessings. Okay, you can do it. All right. And that's when I experimented with wholesaling. Okay. Now, for those of you guys who are not familiar with wholesaling, basically is you're finding off-market properties, okay, and you turn around, you sell it to an end user, whether that's another investor or whether that's another retail buyer, okay, and you act just like a middleman, and then you make your spread that's in between. So I've heard about it, like, you know what, let me try it. So here's the thing is, like, when you learn a concept, right, you know what, don't be afraid to take action and just do it. Right? That's what I did. I've heard about the concept, and also too, with my understanding of real estate, being that I've been licensed for over 17 years, I understood, the concepts. Like, hey, I just went in and I did it, and my first check, it was significant. I think I made like about $60,000 on my first commission, not commission, but my spread. It's like, wow, this stuff really works. So it's like, you know what, instead of doing the regular agent commission sales, I'll just do wholesaling. So I did wholesaling, uh, got really decent at it. I was making some good money. It's like, oh man, this is awesome. But in the back of my mind, I thought, you know what, I want to get into fix and flips, right? Buying something, turn around, fixing it up, and then doing that. And so in 2019, because all 2018, I really focused on just doing wholesaling. So did that. And in late 2018, early 19, I decided to do the fix and flip. So, and, bought a house that's all, looked gross, right? Or looked like it needed a lot of work, turned into something beautiful. So that's what I did. And right now it's 2020, okay? 2020. And as you know, all you guys are looking, 2020 is crazy. It is crazy with the coronavirus, the pandemic, the political situation. It is crazy. So why would anybody want to invest in today's climate? But here's the thing, you guys. During times of uncertainty, right, there's when opportunities come up. So I'm going to share you my journey. Okay. I'm going to share you my journey of how, of me going through this, acquiring properties and rebuilding my investment portfolio. Okay. Full disclosure. Right now, I do not have any rental properties yet. Okay. So as you're going through this journey, you're going to see how I'm acquiring rental properties. I'll be transparent. I will show you the numbers. And I will show you my thinking, and I will give tips along the way, the more you view these videos. And truthfully, I just want to be able to provide value, right? I mean, whether it's for, even if one person watches it, if they get something valuable from it, great. That is my intention, is to provide value, because sometimes real estate can be scary. And yes, there's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of disinformation out there as well. Especially, I call it like YouTube University. I mean, it's great, but there's also too, if you get the wrong information, it can hurt you. So anyways, so what I want to do here with this channel, if you've been watching this far, thank you. And, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, right? Follow me along on my journey, because that's what I'm going to show you, is how I'm, moving from having no rental properties, zero, right? And how my intent is to acquire several properties as we move along. Who knows? Like, I don't know, what the next year or the next, 2 or 3 years will bring. But what I do know is that I will be investing in real estate, and I will take you guys along my journey, share with you my personal experience, my tips, my tricks, my insights, and also too, I'll be bringing other people on board, other investors that are investing in various, forms of real estate as well. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. My name is Keto, and thanks for tuning in to Investing with Keto. Hit the subscribe button, and hey, leave a comment and let me know the things that you want to learn. Okay, and I will do my best to help answer those questions or whatever it is that's on your mind regarding real estate or real estate investing. All right, guys.